Hello, friends. This is Venkatesh, and the topic is about what is happening in Canada and the impact of that in India. And I know that everybody is saying it's because of the ISI and Khalistani disagreements, or some even believe that the Indian NIA was behind it. But what is the root cause of all this? How a prime minister of a country can name another country without any substantial evidence? And I suppose that when you talk about diplomacy, when you talk about politics, you don't say things out in the open unless and until you have absolutely solid, uncontested proof. You don't call out a country like the way Canada has done. And why he thought that he would get away is the fault lies with us Indians. Okay, for 60 odd years, Indian diplomacy has been a very servant-like diplomacy. Although we got independence in 1947, but that servant attitude did not leave our mindset. So whites were still the masters, and when they spoke, we just listened. Okay, and for every time there was an attack from Pakistan, a terrorist attack from Pakistan, our ex-prime ministers would go on their force to the UN and crib to US and other countries that look, oh my God, what they are doing, what should we do? And even after the Taj attack, it's the same thing. The other thing was that basic greed that we had. So everybody would line up to go to Canada, to USA, to UK. So they knew that the country back home is not doing well. So when they go to a host country, they would still live like servants. Okay, participating in the politics happened maybe since last 10-15 years. The voice of India started resonating only 10-15 years ago. So Trudeau came from that mindset that, oh, he could say anything to India and Indians won't do anything. That's white man's thinking in general. In general, they believe that they have moral authority on others. In general, they feel that the colored and blacks do not have the right to express their opinions, express their power, express who they are, unless the white wanted. So they won't have any black country in the UN Security Council. They won't have India. They had 5. And although the world is changing, and you have to make UN relevant to the world, changing world, and you have to increase the Security Council seats, but they will still have 5, because it's a 5 big brothers club to dine and wine and enjoy life. Anyway, nothing happens. So when USA does any covert and overt operation anywhere in the world, it is fine. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. So it is just to tell you that because we are white, we can do anything and get away, but you are Indians, you are colored, so you can't do anything. And if a white man like Trudeau says anything, you got to listen to it. Yeah, he's right. So every I-5 or whatever NATO groups and all, they started saying that India should cooperate. But cooperate with what? And we still are to be blamed largely because the people who live in there, who are Canadians of Indian origin, they have not come out in force to tell Trudeau that he has no moral right. This is a very big problem because every Indian who is just on his own, unless something happens and attacks somebody, their house, even then the neighborhood guy will not come and interfere. We are that kind of people. So we won't take our flag and march in the streets of Delhi, in the Delhi Ambassador House of Canada or High Commissioner House in Canada, and protest. No, we won't do it. Canada also has got other problems like French speaking and English speaking. They always have differences. So Indians should highlight that. And then Indians should say that French Canada should be separate and English Canada should be separate. There should be two separate countries. Why not? If Canada says that Khalistan is a very good thought and we support it, then Canada should accept an Indian stand saying that Canada needs to be split up into two countries. It's high time. But we won't do that because we want to be this goody-goody guys. We got so-called independence, but we still are members of Commonwealth. I don't know why. Why we want to remember colonial past and we participate in Chogam Games and Commonwealth Association. Why? It is because that old slave mentality that for 150 years it was pushed down our throat and we became habituated. And we feel it right actually. So for 60 years, for all the chest thumping that Congress does now, they were okay with any white masters coming and saying anything to you in our country or in UN, and we kept quiet. So the fault lies with us, with Indians here and with Indians in Canada, who do not take stand against this idiotic comments that one prime minister can make and get away with it. And it is spewing poison because he doesn't have any proof whatsoever. It is in the internet, and it's everybody is talking about somebody saying that NIA bumped him off, somebody saying that ISI bumped him off, and yeah, somebody might say that CIA bumped him off. Why not? So is he going to go to USA and say that, look boss, you're not supposed to interfere, you have to cooperate? The CIA will give a slap to Trudeau and say go home, if he ever comes to say that. Of course, now we are taking stand, but Indians in general should rise against this kind of slave mindset that they have. We should go and take placards in front of Canadian High Commissioner's house and say separate the French and English Canada. Okay? And it has to be obsessively done. It has to be done again and again and again until the Canadians realize that, oh, this is what India can do and Indians can do. But I know that because of who we are, who we have become, how important money is, how important people still going to Canada for education. We are putting in $40 billion in their economy because our students would love to go there. Why? Again, because it's again the white men, being white. Okay, so if Indians by themselves choose not to go to Canada for anything, for education or to settle down there, the kind of movement we can build on that every Justin Trudeau after that would realize that he should do his homework much better and think at least 10 times before blaming anything on India or even supporting a separatist movement there. And India should withdraw from UN, but it's not serving any purpose. It is just that we pay maybe millions of dollars for all kinds of UN work that we should suspend. We should form a new association, more powerful, more effective, more humane, and take Africa and other countries whose voices are suppressed. Let those guys enjoy the UN, let those guys, especially those white guys from NATO and YI5 and all, they enjoy, sit and think that they're doing great for the world. But they're not doing anything, and membership in such kind of clubs is actually a sin. There is no point in telling UN that we are being attacked by Pakistan, because UN is not going to do anything. Okay? Even if one country wants to do something, the other country will veto it. So this vetoing of each other makes UN very ineffective. And we should collectively decide and advise the government to withdraw from UN and any part of UN completely. It could be far-fetched, but nothing is really unthinkable nowadays. We should think about it. The consequences of that will be that we have an association where people are given a place not because of their skin color. And the charter should be different. There is no veto. And if there is any unilateral or bilateral issues, it should remain bilateral issues or unilateral issues. And this kind of, I am rich, so I can decide what happens in Iraq or what happens in Afghanistan or what happens anywhere else, that kind of thinking should not be there. And this moral army, moral brigade, or whatever you say, by countries like Canada, USA, UK, who say that, yeah, whatever happened under Saddam was wrong, so let's finish him off. Who gives them the right to do that? Who gives them the right? They have destroyed countries after countries because of this, their high-handedness. So India and Indians, I'm glad that they're changing their strategy now, and I hope that one day it will happen that we will become far more effective and heard. Thank you.